Hi guys, and welcome to Ashton Tracy Horologist. Previously, I put up a video of a Seiko 6119. It was a movement that desperately needed a barrel jewel upgrade. I don't know if you probably saw it. It was one of the last videos I put up. Here, I'm going to take us through the procedure to put the watch back together once we've given it the jewel upgrade. We can see that the barrel has been jeweled there, and we can see on the main plate or the barrel bridge here that we have jeweled it there. Now, the watch is kind of set up, ready to go. The mainspring's been installed in the barrel. You can see on the barrel here the brass ring around, so you can see how desperately we needed the barrel jewel upgrade here. So I've actually made the adjustments to the barrel because the barrel desperately needed adjustments to do with the side shake. So that's been fixed. We can see here it had some really sloppy side shake, and now we have a very well adjusted barrel. We can see our side shake there is at a minimum. I've also epi-lammed the parts that needed the epi-lamming. We have our center seconds wheel, our pallet pivots only, and our escape wheel. Now, epi-lam is, put the camera in focus there. Epi-lam is a surface treatment to keep oil where it should be. It's important to use on certain components, and that's why we use it on these components. So I'm kind of going to give you a little bit of a look at how we assemble the watch, how the whole thing goes together. Excuse my oiling if it's a little bit on the messy side, as I am doing this under the camera and it is kind of in my way. So first what we do is we need to put the center wheel in place, and we get a small amount of oil that we need to put in our jewel in the center wheel. Now, I like to oil it first before I put the wheel in because it's difficult to oil from the other side. So we can now put our center wheel in place. Now we need to put our center wheel bridge in place and screw that down. Most Seikos use a center wheel bridge in this style. A lot of other brands don't. It's common on some models, but it's very common on pretty much all Seiko models. So we get our correct screw, which is a screw that has a pretty rough machine finish. And now we can, I'll just have to do this off screen a little bit. And now we can screw our screw down. At this point, we want to check our end shakes as we're installing the watch so that we can see that we have good end shakes. Okay, so we have good end shakes. Now we need to oil the top pivot. We push this to the side and we oil our top pivot like so. Yeah, I got a little bit of oil in the wrong spot there. Like I said, you gotta forgive my messy oiling at this point. There we go. Clean that up a little bit. It's a bit of a cheat's trick. A little bit of oil on there. That's okay. We don't like to use too much Rodico, but in this case we will. So we check our side shake and our end shake, and we seem good. Now we want to put our barrel in place. Same thing. We want to lubricate our barrel jewel before our barrel goes in. So we put a little bit of HP 1300 oil on our oiler. We go in and we just lubricate the insides of the jewel like so. Not too much. We want to make sure we put the right amount on. How do we know what the right amount is? Well, we don't want too much. We don't want too little. We want just right. That comes with experience. So we fit our barrel in place. The next thing we want to do is fit the rest of our gear train in, because our barrel bridge in a Seiko doesn't have a barrel and a train wheel bridge. It's all connected and in one. So first thing I like to do is I like to put our escape wheel in place. So I'm going to put the escape wheel in first, locate it in its pivot. Then I'm going to put the third wheel in, find its pivot. And then we're going to put the center seconds wheel. But first, we need to lubricate the center seconds wheel in the correct spot. Now, this is one of those wheels that we epi-lamped so that the oil stays in the right place, because it's very crucial that the oil stays in the correct spot of this wheel. So with our wheel lubricated, I like to bring our fourth wheel or third wheel to the side, and we put our center wheel in place. It's at this point we can fit our train wheel bridge. Now before we do that, we want to make sure that we lubricate our barrel jewel before our our barrel bridge goes in place. So again, just the right amount of HP 1300 is what we need to use here. Again, how do we know if it's too much or too little? Well, that's just something we have to learn from experience. And okay, almost done. You'll have to excuse me. My camera setup is hopefully going to be better in the future, so I can do all this on screen for you. So now we need to fit. There we go. Now we need to fit our barrel bridge, like so. Now, obviously we need to screw our barrel bridge down, but it's very important that we find the pivots, find their locations, because if we see at the moment, the pivots aren't in place. So here's a little trick I like to use. Tap the movement holder like this. Did you see that? The pivots naturally find all their holes, all their jewels. So if we now hold the train down, we can see our train wheel moving, and they've all found their spots. So now we can get the jewels. By the way, I should have mentioned earlier, this is a watch that I'm probably going to go back over and redo. So if you do mess up some oiling, it's not the best to use Rodico, because Rodico leaves a film. So you would want to take the part out and clean it again. So you would take that bridge off, clean it in some solution on your bench, and do it. But just for the sake of the camera, I decided to do it the cheats way, just so it's not so long and arduous for you guys. As we screw our screws down, we want to make sure that our train wheels are still free, like this. I'm going to have to just bring this off camera as I screw the screw down like that. And then we will screw the next screw down. Now, once we've done that, we need to check our end shakes. So we need to check our barrel end shake to make sure that we have enough play. We need to check our center wheel to make sure that we have enough, or not too much. We need to check our escape wheel, and we need to check our fourth wheel. Next, we can put our click in place so that the watch can have the barrel jewel put on. Watch can have the ratchet wheel, sorry, put on. So what we need to do now is we need to look for the click screw, which I will find momentarily. Excuse me 1 minute, guys. Here we go. We have found our click screw. So now we put our click in place. Now remember, with the Seiko, the click and the click screw, or the click spring, are one piece. So we put our click and spring in place. It's quite difficult to do with so many people watching, even though you're not here over my shoulder. It's never this difficult. All right. There we go. Everything where it should be. Okay, now we can fit our ratchet wheel. And to make sure our ratchet wheel is the right way up and in place. So we can get our ratchet wheel screw, put that in place, and tighten it up. Now when we turn our ratchet wheel screw, we see that our gear train starts to move. So we need to put a little bit of resistance on the ratchet wheel. I'm going to turn it to make sure that we have free play. Now we want to fit our pallet fork. We fit our pallet fork, and then we want to get our pallet bridge. We can collect our pallet bridge and the screws to screw that down as well. So again, with the pallet bridge, like any other bridge, we want to loosely place it, and then give our movement a tap, and we've located the pivots, like that. Put our screws in place, and as we're screwing down, make sure we keep the pressure on our pallet bridge like that. Now I don't have the winding work in right now, so what we're going to do is we're going to wind the watch up via the ratchet wheel. This is also to show you what happens when your watch is wound. What exactly is wound? Well, we have our ratchet wheel, which has a square cut out, which sits in via a square, I should say, and it's screwed onto our barrel arbor. Now, when we turn that screw, our ratchet wheel is going to turn, and it's going to wind up our mainspring. Now, I don't recommend winding up a barrel via the ratchet wheel. You can slip, you can make a mess, you could adjust the end shakes, you can mess a lot up. Now, I'm going to do it because I know how to do it, but I recommend that if you do want to try this, it's not something you do. You put the winding work and the keyless work in first. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to wind up the barrel. Now, the balance pivots are already in, and we need to lubricate the escapement. So I'm not going to lubricate the escapement. I obviously recommend before you put the balance in, you do lubricate the escapement. One tooth or one stone at a time. You want to put the lubrication on there. Now, this isn't something that I'm going to be able to do. I'm not set up to film it under the microscope, so for now, the purposes of the video, I'm just going to put the balance in and show you that the watch will start working exactly as we go. And then I can lubricate the rest of it. So we want to get hold of our balance. And we want to move our pallet fork to the one side. Now we want to come in, like so. Look for our bottom pivot location. And twist the watch. Just like that. And it's ticking. We have life. Now we need to lubricate the escapement, and we need to lubricate our train wheels as well, both on the upper and lower sides. So that's all we're going to go through for today. But I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. If you have, please check us out on Instagram. Check us out on my website too, ashtontracy.ca, where you can see blog posts and things that we've done. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it, and stay tuned for the next video.